Hey, what's going on, No Nation? CJ Wilson here with Dope Talk. Spring practice is around the corner, so FSU is starting to get prepared for the 2024 season in regards to this version of the FSU Seminoles. You got your high school kids in, your transfers in, guys from last year all going through tour duty, this, that, and the other. So what we're going to do for the coming weeks is go through a position by position pre-spring breakdown leading up to spring practice. So we're going to quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, tight ends, whatever it may be. Each position by position. We're going to give a breakdown leading up to spring practice and also post spring practice once everything is, I guess, once the dust settles, so to speak, with the 15 spring practices and the spring game. Well, the 15 spring practices, including the spring game. Then we'll do a post spring leading up to the actual season breakdown position by position. But Dope Talk is brought to you by DASH.FI, the modern charge card for digital ad spend. DASH.FI is a business-to-business corporate expense card program that gets you the highest cash back on the market starting at 3%. Most programs start you off at 1.5. With DASH.FI, we want to get you right with 3%. So again, if you guys have a business that you're running, anything like that, you're trying to get your corporate expense card, check out DASH.FI. Go ahead and apply for the MasterCard within the description. All right, guys, the first position we'll talk about, of course, is the quarterback position, right? The most important position on the football field. We'll go through player by player within the quarterback room and give you guys a brief synopsis on that player and what to expect from that player within the not necessarily 2024 season, spring practice. All right, the first player we're going to talk about is DJU, the quarterback transfer from Clemson, Oregon State to FSU. So DJU ended up transferring to FSU out of multiple options out of the transfer portal. Has 57 career touchdowns and 24 career interceptions. This past season at Oregon State had 2,600 passing yards and 21 touchdowns and 7 interceptions for Oregon State this past season. He also has 1,000 career rushing yards and 21 career rushing touchdowns. So a dynamic dual threat type of playmaker, 6'5", 250 pounds. As you guys know, in the past seasons, we've had Jordan Travers as a runner, but DJU brings a different element in the running game due to his size. 6'5", 250 pounds. He was great in 4th and 1 situations and quarterback sneak situations. So I think that'll be a game changer for FSU moving forward. As you guys know, those short yardage situations is something we struggle with. I don't foresee those struggles moving forward with this season with DJU at quarterback. Brings a wealth of experience, and I really think being in Mike Norvell's offense in this system is a dream come true for DJU, and I think it's going to be like a kid in the candy store for Mike Norvell, because I feel like DJU has all of the tools. He's very smart with the ball. If you want to use the game manager Monarch, that's perfectly fine. I think he's the ultimate game manager with a really big arm that can stretch the ball down the field. He did it a couple times to FSU when they played in the 2022 season. So again, I think DJU, from his attributes as a quarterback, fits perfectly well within Mike Norvell's system. If you guys look at what Mike Norvell has done over the years with quarterback, whether it's Riley Ferguson, Brady White, Jordan Travis, I feel like he's going to get the best out of DJU. So this could be a very special year for the quarterback in regards to DJU. This is the team he wanted to go to the most out of the portal. He circled FSU leading back to the Florida game, the 2023 season, back in November. That's when he first really circled FSU in regards to a possible destination for him. Just like I said, just the prospects of playing within the system as player friendly as Mike Norvell's system. He calls the offense built for playmakers. And that's exactly what it is. An offense built for playmakers. Let's move on to the perceived backup for the 2024 season, Brock Glenn. The 2023 season for true freshman Brock Glenn was a season that you really don't expect. How can I put this? It was a season that you wouldn't expect for a true freshman. I'm pretty sure a season he didn't expect coming in. He was thrust into the starting lineup in the ACC championship and, of course, the bowl game. And you guys got to remember, too, Brock Glenn got hurt. I want to say he played the Southern Miss game, got hurt the Southern Miss game, missed the majority of the season, kind of got back going again got back rolling with the North Alabama game. Of course, Jordan Travers got hurt that game. Then he moved forward to the Florida game where the quarterback at the time, Tate Rodemaker, got a concussion in the Florida game, was trusted a little bit in the Florida game for those 3 to 4 plays. Again, Tate Rodemaker wasn't healthy that following week for the ACC championship. Day of the game, you have true freshman Brock Glenn. He's the starting quarterback. So I say that to say this. I really think Brock Glenn, as far as a developmental standpoint from his true freshman year, he really didn't get that much of that because he was injured for the most part of the year due to, I want to say it was a thumb injury, if I'm not mistaken, for Brock Glenn. So again, those true freshman scout team reps are very crucial because you get a lot of snaps within the scout team going against the first team defense. It's mental reps and things like that. That's something that Brock Glenn didn't have this past season, but the sky's the limit for Brock Glenn. I'm really high on this kid coming out of Memphis as a high school prospect. And you heard you heard Mike Norvell and Coach Tony Tozart talk highly of him as well. So I think Brock Glenn's going to get a lot better this upcoming year. The spring practices, these 15 spring practices is very critical for him, along with the tour duty, just to get better and build upon that true freshman year. You usually have your biggest jump as far as from a development standpoint and just schematic standpoint from your first year to your second year because you're more familiar with the program, understand what's expected of you, and this, that, and the other. So I think Brock Glenn is going to be fine moving forward. Again, he was thrusted into the starting lineup unexpectedly as a true freshman. He was some ups and downs, but I do think we saw a lot of bright spots in that bowl game against Georgia. Of course, the score isn't subjective of that, and we had a lot of receivers drop some balls and things like that. But if you look at what Brock Glenn did individually, not from the stats, just watch the actual game, it was a lot of good things for the Georgia game. If you look at the ACC championship against Louisville, he was like a deer in the headlights. Didn't want to throw the ball down the field at all. The Georgia game, he took a lot of shots. He showed his arm ability. I think Brock Glenn is just scratching the surface as far as his potential. The third quarterback in the room, Luke Kromenhoek, four-star quarterback out of Savannah, Georgia, true freshman, 6'4", 190 pounds. You guys know I'm very, very, very high on Luke Kromenhoek. I think Luke Kromenhoek is the best. How can I put it? I think he has the most talent, the most upside from any quarterback that Mike Norvell has brought to FSU at this point in time. I think Luke Kromenhoek has an NFL type of arm, NFL type of talent. Once he gets developing things like that, I think the sky's the limit for Luke. I'm very high on Luke coming out. Just his arm talent is very special, in my opinion. I think Luke is going to be one of those guys. So once he comes in, of course, I feel like he'll take a red shirt this year. And going back to Brock Glenn, I think Brock Glenn played in 4 games this past season, so he was able to save his red shirt. Look for Luke Kromenhoek to follow the same type of path, playing some games to get some reps, mop-up duty type of deal, unless something unexpectedly happened like the 2023 season, which I don't foresee at all. But again, look for Luke Kromenhoek to probably take a red shirt this upcoming season, playing those type of games where we're, like I said, mop-up duty, blowing teams out to get those reps in. But the main focus for Luke Kromenhoek this upcoming year, or spring practice specifically, is grind. Just grind, get into the playbook, understand what Norvell expects from the offense, understand how practices is run, just Florida State in general. Everything is new to you. You're a true freshman, an early enrollee at that. You should be preparing for your prom, but you're on campus taking college classes and getting ready for spring practices and this, that, and other. So I think Luke Kromenhoek will take a red shirt this upcoming year, learn the playbook, and within the 2025 season next spring, we'll be ready to compete with Brock Glenn for the starting quarterback position. Moving on to the last quarterback in the room. This was a late addition and a surprising addition to a lot of FSU fans. Trever Jackson, 4-star quarterback, Elite 11 finalist, preferred walk-on. He's going to become to FSU as a preferred walk-on. Another true freshman, Luke Kromenhoek, is very big to bring in not necessarily 4 quarterbacks, 2 quarterbacks from this past cycle. 4 quarterbacks overall in the room. As you guys know, within the new age of college football is ever changing within the transfer portal, right? Of course, we had a couple guys leave FSU for the 2023 season. Tate Rodemaker ended up transferring to Southern Miss, I want to say. And, of course, you have A.J. Duffy ended up transferring to San Diego State, if I'm not mistaken. So we lost 2 quarterbacks to bring 2 other quarterbacks in with Luke Kromenhoek and Trever Jackson to kind of offset that. And, of course, DJU to offset Jordan Travis. They have 4 quarterbacks in the room, 2 true freshmen. I think is very good because you never know within this day of college football. These guys are transferring left to right, especially the quarterback position. Long gone are the days where, you're sitting 2 to 3, maybe 4 years and this, that, and another, and you're a redshirt junior playing like a Danny Cannell or anything like that. If these guys aren't playing within their first 2 years or on campus, they're pretty much looking at other options down the line to transfer out. So to bring in Trever Jackson as a preferred walk-on, I think is a very good get. He could work as well as scholarship status moving forward. So again, I think FSU is in a pretty good spot for the quarterback position going into spring. We'll see how things play out. A lot of new faces within the quarterback room, right? Three of the four quarterbacks are brand new to FSU, with Brock Glenn still being brand new to FSU as he only has 1 year under his belt. So it's going to be interesting to see how we look moving forward and how Mike Norvell attacks this spring with his quarterbacks. So again, we got more positional breakdowns coming up, running back, receivers, tight ends, things like that. We've got more of these coming up pretty soon. Tune in with Dope Talk. Make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel.